Up next, we're going to assemble the router portion of the machine. We're going to start out with our router and our controller PCB holder here. So we're going to take this guy, and this has these little feet which will grip onto the top of the router here. And it goes in like this. And once you've got it all lined up, notice the orientation there on the top of the router. Just give it a little bit of a push, maybe a little bit of a firm push. Missing one down here. And that guy will pop into place. Up next, we're going to grab our router clamps here, which are these two pieces, and our router clamp wedges, which are these little guys here. We're going to take our router clamp and our router clamp wedge, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add 2 lock nuts to the recesses in the back of our router clamp wedge. We'll just press those into place. We're pushing those guys in there. Then we're taking our router clamp wedge, and notice that one side of the router clamp wedge has a little bit of a angled bit to it, whereas the other side is flat. That angled bit lines up with these notches in the top here. So we want the angled side up. We're just going to put this guy on here and let it drop into place. We'll give it a little bit of everything a little squeeze to let it get into place there. And then we're going to take this guy and we're going to drop it onto our router. And we want to orient it so that this notch here lines up with the power cord. And then we're just going to get it to go all the way down. There we go. Boom. So that guy is all the way on there, as far down as it can go. Now we're going to grab 2 of our regular bolts. We're going to pass them through these holes here. This really wants to focus on the top of the router, but that's okay. So we are tightening up these 2 bolts. And I like to tighten one a little bit and then the other a little bit. And that's just going to pull this wedge into place, which is going to clamp everything down on the router. And we don't need to tighten this all the way down. That's good enough. Once it's like, locked on there, it doesn't feel like it's slipping, that's good enough. You can see we didn't have to pull all the way against the edge here. We'll set that aside. Up next, we're going to collect our 8 uprights, and we want to join these into groups of 2 like this. So I think the easiest way to do that is actually using our key here, smaller key. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the key through the hole and then stick a nut on the end of the key. And then I can use the key just to drop it back into place down in there. I'm going to do that for the other 2 as well. Now that we've got our 3 nuts down in there from the other side, I'm going to take a regular bolt. I'm going to pass it up through the hole here. And then I'm just going to start it threading these two together. Looking good. I'm going to do the same thing on the next one. I'm going to do the same thing on the next one. And now I'm going to go around in a circle, just tightening each one up a little bit at a time. We want to be able to use the upper one to keep tension on those nuts. So next we're going to take our 4 linear bearings, and we're going to take 2 of our newly assembled uprights, and we're going to press those linear bearings into both ends. I just want to make sure this is clear. So there's 2 uprights that have linear bearings in both sides, and 2 that have no linear bearings at all. We're going to set the 2 without the linear bearings aside for now. We're going to grab our router here, and notice that there's 4 holes on 2 sides. Sorry, yeah, 4 holes, and then these ones don't have those. These ones that don't have the holes, they get the linear bearings. We're just going to bolt those in place. Just like before, we're going to have lock nuts here. And then we'll simply bolt these in place. I find the easiest way to do this is off the end of the table, because then you can come at it from the bottom. Same thing on the other side. Again, we're going into the one that doesn't have these bolt holes. Next, we're going to take our other 2 posts here, which do not have the linear clamps, and we're going to place them on these other 2 sides. Now we need to add the arms to our router assembly. The order that these go on can be a little confusing, so I want to try to show this from a couple different angles here. So you can see the power cord is down and toward me. The first one that goes on is going to be this one here. The next one that goes on, is going to be this one here opposite it. After that, we have this one here. And then finally, we have our last one, which is this one here. So you can see, if we're looking at it from the top, the first one, the tallest up one, is top left. The next one down in the stack is bottom right. And then we have the next one is top right, and the last one is bottom left. So that's what our whole assembly here looks like. It's becoming a robot. Set that aside for a second. Now we're going to repair our other router clamp. First thing we can do is the same as before. We're going to notice the edge that has a little bit of a chamfer on it. I'm going to grab a couple of nuts here. Press fit these into place. Pop that on there. Now we're going to grab our sled, and we're going to notice that there's two nuts on our stepper motors here. We're going to take those off, and we're going to set those aside. We're going to need to use those. So we've got our two nuts here, and we're going to pop these in here. Now, there's you'll notice the nut is not actually symmetrical. It has a long side and a short side. It doesn't really matter, but long side down. So the nut goes in like that. Now we're just going to grab a couple of these. Tighten that up. Same thing on the other side. So again, drop our nut in. Note that our nuts are on the same side as our wedge here. Should have mentioned that on the first one, but I'm gonna come back up here. Now with our arms assembly here, we want to add our lower clamp. And we're going to place it on there like this. A couple things to note. Notice that this wedge here, this cutout here, will line up with this yellow button, making it so we can access that to lock the spindle when we're changing the router bit. Also note that the two sides here which have the lead screw nuts on them will line up with the two here which do not have the linear bearing. So we'll just pop that into place. Get everything lined up. And then we're going to lock it into place with the wedge, just like we did on the other side. Again, going back and forth, tightening one side, tightening the other side. Now we're going to place screws through these bolts here, just like we did on the other side. I like to do these ones with the non-locking nuts. These screws are something you'll have to take out if you want to service something, and I find that they're just easier to do with the non-locking nuts. So we're going to be doing these with the non-locking nuts. And that's it. We've now fully assembled the router portion of the Maslow 4.